Hello guys, we just want to say hello and welcome you to our interview session today. I have a very special guest with me, Jess. Say hi, Jess.
Hi everyone.
Essentially, as you already know, my name's Doi. If you've seen us for the first time, this is a bit of a special occasion because usually I like to have friends and guests to come and share their opinion about my thoughts and my ideas. Jess and I, we met at one of the volunteer roles, and I was very fortunate to meet Jess through my supervisor named Russell. And he found that this very capable person wanted to help out in the best way she know how, or just to give back to the community. Would you say so? That was one of the reasons why you joined up?
Definitely, yep.
Yeah, and I suppose, this is, for me, to come to the point where we give back to people is something that, we don't have to give back to people, but we want to, and because there's something about that makes us all human, and we want to, I don't know how to say, give to others. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
And
I think so.
For you, Jess, was there any particular reason you decided at our particular organisation, at the hospital there, for example?
My family has been at the Martyr. My sister had a baby there, and it was close to home, so it was just a convenience factor, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially, because you knew the area was easy to get to, and it was a way for you to really start something new, wasn't it? Because I don't think you've done any volunteering before.
No, none of such.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was good.
And I suppose for us, how long have we known each other now?
6 months.
Really?
Maybe not that long.
Maybe, hey. You're quite some time. See, times go so fast that we don't even know when we met. And yeah, it feels like, because when I started, I was trained by somebody else, and I had the privilege of having Jess as my,
Trainee.
Trainee? I was going to say Pad1, but Star Wars reference.
Okay, I don't get that.
Thanks, Jess. Thanks for the moral support there. But no, I had the privilege to work with Jess, and yeah, she's fantastic in what she does, and I believe that's partly me as well. And but of course, it helps to have great talent with us today.
It was all you.
Yeah. So I suppose, what did you first thought when our supervisor Russell introduced me to you, or vice versa?
I was just so overwhelmed with everything, all the new stuff. I don't remember what I thought. I was happy to have a mentor. I was scared I was going to be thrown out there alone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was pleased that I had someone to show me the ropes, and I was even more happy when I had someone as good as you to show me the ropes. It was really good.
And I suppose, tell me more about it. How do you know that I wasn't some jerk, or somebody that wasn't going to be nice? How do you know it was?
It was the Doi face.
Well, no, we had two faces. We had the original one, which you didn't like.
Yeah, because it freaked me out.
Yeah. I thought, okay, this is a Doi face. Okay, so one eyebrow, and it's more like a curious face. It's like, tell me more face, but obviously some has interpreted that face with, what do you thought? What the hell is going on? Am I doing something wrong?
Yeah, it was not a good. You getting your facial expressions mixed up.
And then we decided that we should change it to.
Yeah.
Which worked well for you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's keeps me happy. When I'm unsure, I think of that, and it makes me smile.
And just coming back to that first impression, I suppose, you mentioned, you were overwhelmed, and sometimes, when we communicate to other people, we give the wrong impression. And as Jess was saying, I give her that weird face. It wasn't that, you're doing something wrong, but more of the case of, what was my intention, I think?
You were testing me on where
Just
rooms were, or where doctors were.
Yeah. and you felt a bit pressured.
Well, you did that face and I didn't know if I was going in the right spot or not.
Yeah. That's right, because eventually I realised from observing Jess that she was feeling uncomfortable, and this is hard for people sometimes because you don't always know, do you? Like, you don't know how people react, and so I clarified with her and said, look, does this face mean something? Does this mean something to you? And then you said, yeah, it's kind of freaking me out. Yeah, don't do that. So I changed to the happy expression, and so every time Jess is unsure about a certain location, because as ambassadors at the hospital, our role was to take patients or people anywhere from one place to another. And as part of the training, Jess needed to be familiar with the layout of the hospital and the campus and knew where things were. And I knew that, it's not something you can learn in one day. Well, I thought you could.
No, you definitely cannot. Can't learn it in a day. No way.
And I suppose this is the other thing too, like, did you, when I went through those sorts of steps with you, like showing you different places, was it something manageable? Do you think that, who's been a real pain in the ass, or he's, trying to get me to make a fault or something along those lines?
No, I was appreciative because it did help me learn where things were.
Yeah.
So
and
it wasn't bad.
And essentially you were able to memorise or recall some of the things sometimes.
Yeah, and Paul's cheat sheet too, that helped.
Paul, if you're watching this, your cheat sheets. But it was still all me, okay? So just for the record, right? But I suppose this is the other thing, like, how we learn about different things is different for each individual, essentially. And, how Jess learns the way of the hospital is different to how I learn it. And with the combined sort of methods, like, I physically showed you and the reference you had from notes, you were able to pick up a new skill, essentially, Now, thinking back about that time, like, did you have a first impression of me? Like, when was I a bit outspoken or...
No, you were friendly. I can't really remember.
Wow, really?
No, it can't have been bad. Yeah, usually you remember if it's a bad first impression.
There you go. So, not that you should be tied up to this, but try not to make a bad first impression.
Those first few seconds make all the difference.
You have the advantage, I'm sorry. Like, attractive blonde, Scarlett Johansson looking like... seriously, guys, that was the first thing I thought. I'm just like, where did Russell get this person from? Like, did he just sculpt the person? But yeah, like, in you saying that, for example, like the first impressions and the idea, like, had I not greeted you properly, or had I not been friendly, maybe?
You were friendly. Russell gave you probably a good rap.
Yeah,
which is why maybe I was reassured.
Yeah.
I think I was more worried about the role itself and doing the work rather than...
who I'm going to be paired up with.
Yeah. I was worried about doing a good job.
And that's the thing, like when we volunteer or give up our time, we want to do a good job. But then obviously there are people in our lives who either make things very difficult for us, or, I don't know, don't like us for whatever reason, and it becomes very pragmatic or very unenjoyable. Would you say?
Yeah.
Like, have you had any experiences where, you wanted to do something but people made your life a bit?
Yeah, in past jobs I've had people who I've been working on something for days and they all of a sudden change their mind. So all the work I've done has gone out the window and, I don't know, made me look bad like I hadn't done any work.
Yeah, so it almost like pushed the blame or blamed you. Well, maybe more of like gave you a bad rap.
Yeah, that's not very nice, that lady.
And I suppose, not to cut Jess off, which I am, is that we all have those people, don't we? Like, no matter which stage you go through, you always have those people that you have to deal with.
Yeah, and everyone's different, so you don't know where you will encounter them, or...
Well,
Yeah.
lucky for Jess and I, it wasn't obviously at the hospital.
All the volunteers are nice though. If you're volunteering, you obviously have a good heart. So
Really?
I think so. Why people wouldn't volunteer unless because it's you working for free. So
Well, we would put our resume as part of the, we...
I suppose some people would use it for that to make themselves look better.
Are you insinuating that's... I noticed there was a bit of a hint towards my way there.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, you do make the valid point that, when we don't get paid for it and we have to volunteer, our intentions are a bit more transparent.
And you usually get a better group of people by that. Like at the blood donor centre, they are the best people there. So I always love going there because they're so welcoming, so friendly.
And how do you know they're friendly?
They say hello, they talk to me, they go out of their way to talk to you.
Okay. And I suppose this is the thing, we are all people, and sometimes we have thoughts that what are they going to think about me? What if I say something wrong? But I suppose it doesn't really hurt to say, hey, how's it going? What's going on over there? Or can I help you in some way?
Yeah, and I have a big issue with worrying about what people think of me.
Yeah.
I think that prevents me from doing stuff, so I tend not to be as outgoing as other people. So something I've been working on for a little while.
Okay. Yeah.
So
was that something you've come to realise now, or a little bit later on?
The last few years, I think different things in my past have made me like that. So now I'm free of those things. I realised that I was like that, and I've just been putting myself more out there to overcome that.
Those obstacles and...
Yeah, to be better. For myself to feel like I'm better, because sort of it gets you down when you're all constantly worrying about what everyone's thinking of you.
Yeah. Like that, almost like an external pressure. So you don't say stuff, or you're in a group setting and you don't say things, like you obviously have an opinion, but you don't voice it because you're worried about what everyone is going to say. But if you don't have that worry, you obviously can express your feelings or your opinion, and you can be more, participate more. Yeah. And I suppose, as Jess and I, because we work together, we always have these conversations about, things. It could be anything. It doesn't really matter. And I suppose, was there attributes about myself or the environment that made it easier for you to talk about those sorts of things?
Well, you are quite your persona. You just seem friendly, like you are open to hearing opinions. So I guess that's easy to talk to. Yeah,
and what Jess says is quite important, is that, we believe that we listen to people, but we're actually sometimes a bit judgmental in the process, isn't it? We want to help them, but we just give them our 2 cents, but that's actually not what they interpret. And in the same way as, my facial expression of, is that, give me more information, that has been misinterpreted. And I suppose, coming here to have a talk about it is really a good thing, isn't it? To really think about or identify some of the things which makes it